time for Would You Rather. So, perfect segue out. It's almost like I plan these segments. Like, would you rather, now, now stay with me here, sell $2,000 worth of football cards during football cards selling season, or buy $2,000 worth of basketball cards as an investment during basketball card buying season? So this is basically like, kind of like someone handing you $2,000. Would you rather not have the football cards? Or would you rather have the $2,000, but you have to invest in the basketball cards now? Do you see something that you like? Do you like that LaMelo Ball that I showed earlier? Do you like an Anthony Edwards rookie ticket auto Gem Mint 10 PSA? Is that going to appreciate? Just kind of letting you know where this question is coming from in my mind.
Yeah, I think if I was going to buy basketball, I would buy Damian Lillard, like we talked about last week, and then I would buy some Josh Giddey just because I'm a Thunder fan. But for the same similar reasons why you're bringing up the three guys you brought up today, point guards, they're going to be moving the ball a lot, high usage rates, stuff like that. Um, but I think I'm going to take the 2 grand on football cards. Nothing is you know, I'm going to put it into kind of my specialties. I'd rather put 2K back into Bowman cards or soccer cards rather than buying basketball cards, just so I can keep myself mentally focused. But I also am all about crystallizing things right now. I sold a Bowman slab this week that I bought for 60. That I had the opportunity to sell it for 275 at the trade deadline. Um, and I had it up there, and there were 7 of them sold, and there were 8 of them online, and mine was the one that did not sell for 275. So we've had to ride the hype all the way down from 275 to actual items, and I sold my slab yesterday for $100. So
Okay.
that was quite the ride that I was telling you guys, like sell in the All Star break, and I tried, and mine was the one card that didn't sell in the All Star break. So I'm still in the green. It's just $40 higher rather than multiple X higher. Um, but I'm gonna take the 2K and end up putting it into some other sports.
Cool. Sounds like a plan. Do you have a
What
would you
about?
rather for me?
Well, I didn't. I want to hear your answer.
Um, I think I would also do the same, although I really do think that Anthony Edwards rookie ticket auto PSA 10 base. Um, I might be able to get two of those potentially for $1,000 or for $2,000. Maybe not quite, but almost get two of those for $2,000. I really think those are going to be easily 1,500 to 2,000, maybe over $2,000 during the basketball season, during some basketball hype windows. I'm a believer in Anthony Edwards. Let me know in the comments what you think of Anthony Edwards and where his cards are going. I just think the Timberwolves are doing the right things around him. I think that he's the real deal. And I think his higher end cards, like any kind of on card auto, especially from contenders, is going to do very, very well. Any PSA 10s of him that aren't just your normal base rookies are going to do very well this year. And so I'd be tempted to take the 2 grand and put it into basketball cards. I'm not going to lie. If someone's going to hand it to me. But I think I'd probably take the actual 2 grand from the football cards as well. But I just thought of another would you rather while you mentioned Josh Giddey. Would you rather have the I don't even know how to phrase this because it's kind of an inside joke. Would you rather have the ability to turn down $38,000 for a Josh Giddey one of one Black Prism Superfractor PSA 8, or would you rather have the Josh Giddey Prism Auto sitting next to it? I don't even know if that question makes any sense. I just wanted to ask you about those two Josh Giddey cards that we saw at the National. For everybody who has no idea what I'm talking about, at the National, we talked to a dealer who said that he turned down $38,000 cash for a Josh Giddey Prism 1 of 1 Superfractor Black Prism. I think it was like a PSA 8, if I have this correct. And I'm just not sure what the correct move is on that. Like I don't.
Well,
It
I think
seemed like a
he,
lot of money for a Josh Giddey card.
yeah, I mean, I think he said he pulled it too. So, which means like he doesn't have a whole lot invested in it in relation to where that price is now. So, man, that is risky, bro. Like for me, even being a massive Thunder fan, give me the 38 grand for
Yeah,
that.
me too. Let us know in the comments if you think that guy's an idiot or if you think I'm an idiot for thinking he's an
I mean, I
idiot.
do think it's going to go up, but I think if you have so much margin like that, like let's say like okay, that's probably an 80% run from Josh Giddey where it's at right now. Like there might be a 20% more move there, but there's a really high likelihood that you land under 80% as well. Does that make sense? Does that convey right?
Yeah, totally.
And so like when you are thinking about that, you might be greedy for that last 20%, and that last 20% might be a hell of a spike. That last couple spikes are the ones that end up in like the, 70, 80, 90K range for sure. But at the same time, like, dude, when you've got 38K on the floor and you've got a piece of cardboard in front of you.
Yeah. He's sitting there, I think, next to his son. I think it was a
Yeah,
father-son
it was.
team with two Josh Giddey cards. That was one of them. The other one was an autograph that was probably just almost as rare, maybe worth a couple $1,000s less. I don't know. They had turned down offers for both of those Josh Giddey cards, according to them. Now, that might not be real. Toa says take the money and run. I mean, I agree. Because the other thing I would say to Kendall's point is I tend to always look at what what needs to happen to make this card go up? What needs to happen with the player in their career to make the card go up from where it is versus what needs to happen to make the card go down from where it is, and what's more likely to happen? So Josh Giddey probably doesn't have to do a lot to get people hype on him because he hasn't. I don't know that the expectations are super high for Josh Giddey. I think he's in a unique pocket of athlete where like he's not like a Justin Herbert where he has to win the Super Bowl for his cards to go up. I think like Josh Giddey just needs to basically play well and play well and make some highlights with Chet and his cards will go up. But like I think what's actually more likely to happen is for something like a slow start for Giddey or like unfortunately just like some inconsistencies that they're not going to move it from 38,000 higher. Like if this were a $30 card, could it move up to 50 pretty easily? Yeah, but to move up from 38 to higher than that, I don't know. I mean, so that's why
I mean,
I
I
would say
don't think
sell.
he's going to
And
be a candidate for like MVP or anything like that. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
he's probably not going to be the best player on his team.
Yeah, exactly. And Ziggy agrees. It seems like he says sell. So we're gonna move on to the
I,
gauntlet. It's
I do
time.
have a would you rather.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Go ahead, Kendall. Kendall has a would you rather for me. All right.
So mine is a little like I wanted to take like a little bit of a different look. Like we don't often talk about this. We like to project. We like to talk about potential future runs, all this kind of stuff. But my would you rather is really at the heart of Paul Hickey. Ready for this?
Yes.
Would you rather quit the hobby today? Quit the hobby today or break even in 5 years?
Quit the hobby today well, I don't see any incentive for quitting the hobby today. I think if I break even in 5 years, I at least get to participate in the hobby for 5 years. So I'm definitely going to take that. I'm definitely going to take that. So I think this question is like, I think it's a good question. I think I take it as like, is it worth your time in the
That's
hobby
exactly what I'm saying.
to participate in the hobby and enjoy it, knowing that you're going to break even in 5 years? Or if you knew that you're going to break even in 5 years, would you just punt now and be like, hey, I'm going to spend my time elsewhere? And that's a legitimate question, especially for someone like me who, like, a lot of people might be wondering, like, why am I in this? What am I doing? I really do find a lot of fulfillment just simply knowing that I could buy a card, or that there's something behind researching this particular card, or I really like honestly talking to people about it. Like I used to, when I was really into fantasy football back in the day, and nooffseason.com was a fantasy football site. um, I used to love just talking to people about fantasy football and their fantasy teams, and that's the way I am with cards now. I really enjoy learning about cards. I don't mind losing money as long as it's not, as long as it's within my budget or my pocket of sort of money that I've allocated to cards. So I definitely pick, like, I'll break even in 5 years on my card investments and enjoy the hobby. So um, and Toa is right along there with me. He says break even. He enjoys it too much. Yeah, he says he'd have to find something else to replace the time. I feel the same way. Like I haven't felt as happy in my life over the last, like, say, 5 year window. Other than, like, I'd say if you take the last like 2.5 years that I've been back in the hobby, I'm way happier than I was the 2.5 years before that. Way more fulfilled. So definitely good question. And
Yeah, my
I
my
take the
basis for
hobby.
that question was all around time invested.
Yeah,
Because like I look at some of this stuff and I know that some people are just looking at it as an investment. Like
yeah,
they don't care at all about watching the sport. They don't care about the team. They don't care about the people. They don't care about the shows. They just care, like, does my money grow and beat the S&P 500? In 5 years. And let's just
yeah,
say no, it doesn't. Would you still do it? That was basically the basis of my question.
yeah, for sure. And I mean, not to like take it off into another direction, but I would say that you probably will lose money if you take the outlook of I just want to buy a card, let it sit there and appreciate, and then sell it later. Because I think I would argue that if you take that approach, you're probably not hustling and grinding and doing the research or having as many at bats that you need to have to actually make money in the hobby. So, I mean, I could be wrong with that, but just my general
And it depends on what you're investing
thesis,
in.
yeah, like I just think, like, if you're at a level where you're sort of expecting to just invest it like you would into a mutual fund and expect it to appreciate, I would say in cards, that's pretty risky. I think you have to make your card investments based on the knowledge that you've acquired and the at bats that you've had, and that you learn from the strikeouts, you learn from seeing the pitches, right? And then you can hit the home run because you have those reps. Like I just think you need reps in the hobby to make money. I mean, with buying singles, um, anybody can get lucky and get a case hit or something like that, and then that's something completely different. But yeah, no, you bring up an interesting point, and I just think that the group of people that's not enjoying the hobby for what it is, probably we're never gonna really make money on it. Now, that's not to say that you can definitely be a disciplined sports card investor, not really care about getting fulfillment from the hobby or from the cards, and you can definitely make money in the hobby, but you still have to put in the time. Like, I guess that's my point, is like I don't think you can make money at this without really putting in the time. So
Yeah. I mean, I think you can, but it's on a much higher level than even Paul Fisher. Like you
yeah,
don't have to know anything to go buy that Wagner and know that literally every time it's sold, it's gone up. But of
yeah,
course that's like 200, and I mean, like, I think that's like multi-million dollar. I don't remember the last one. I think it was
that's
like,
true. And I guess the hack would be like somebody tells you that, right? Like you go to the national and somebody tells you, or you ask the question to people at the national or to people online, and that's a lot less work than you doing the research yourself. So
right. And at that level, you probably have somebody, a financial advisor,
yeah,
saying this is a good like place to put your money.
Hey, I would love to know from anybody out there if this is the case, because I mean, it probably is, and I would like to meet these people and just learn from them, because maybe my outlook is just my outlook, and maybe there are people like Kendall saying who are doing more of, hey, I know that there are cards that are gonna beat the S&P 500, so like just help me find them real quick, and then I'm gonna buy them. And if I would love to learn more about how those people are doing that, and how that fits into their overall investment portfolio as well. So just outside of cards.